If you see something, say something. If you feel something, say something. If you hear something, say something. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something that is very common, that's very dear to me. Actually, the Huffington Post had an article out about it recently stating that 1 out of 3 women have been sexually harassed in the workplace. In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 things to do if you are being sexually harassed at work. First, I have to put this disclaimer out there. This is not legal advice, and nothing conveyed in this video is intended to create an attorney-client relationship. This is only for entertainment/informational purposes only. If you feel like you've been sexually harassed, contact your attorney. Me sharing this video with you does not create an attorney-client relationship in any way, shape, or form. This is strictly informational. What do you do when you're being sexually harassed at work? First of all, what is sexual harassment? Sexual harassment is simply unwelcome sexual advancement that usually entails a request for sexual favors in a verbal or physical form. I'm not going to go into what actions or conduct constitutes sexual harassment. That's not for this video. That's going to be for a different video at a different time, if at all. However, if you feel or if you actually know that you are being sexually harassed and you need help, or you're trying to figure out what to do, this video is for you. If you feel as though you've been sexually harassed in the past and you don't know what to do, this video is for you. So the first thing I will tell you to do if you've been sexually harassed is to familiarize yourself with the policy and procedures of your firm or your company or your organization. Each organization has a policy prohibiting sexual harassment, at least from what I know. To the extent that organizations don't have a policy or procedure prohibiting sexual harassment, then you should also know it. This information will be contained in your employee handbook or a policy and procedure manual. It's usually in the employee handbook. So if you don't have a copy of your employee handbook, make sure you request one. If you do have a copy, make copies of that section. Familiarize yourself with what's prohibited and what's not. And also, you should know the internal grievance processes as well as the internal complaint procedures. Most companies and most organizations have a structure as to who you contact if you feel you're being harassed at work, and it's something you should definitely familiarize yourself with. The second thing I'll tell you to do is to speak with your supervisor. Be sure to contact your supervisor as soon as any acts that could be construed to be sexually harassing in nature occurs. That's the first thing you have to do, and then follow up. If your supervisor doesn't do anything, go up the chain, speak to his or her boss, or take it a step further and go talk to human resources. Whatever you do, make sure that you report this action. It's not something that you should sit on and wait and think about for a couple of months. There's a different time for that, but it's important to make sure that you report every action, every instance of sexual harassment immediately. Third, be sure to write everything down. From the first incident to the last incident, make sure you have signed statements. Those statements can eventually be given to your supervisor or to HR or to help you in litigation if you choose to sue. Whatever you do, whatever happens, make sure you write things down. Now, you can also report to your supervisor verbally as expressed before. You complain to your supervisor verbally, make sure that you follow up via email, or make sure you have a signed statement stating, expressing and memorializing the fact that you conveyed your concerns to your supervisor. This is something that will come in handy in a couple of months or a couple of weeks down the line when you're trying to substantiate the facts of your case. So be sure you have signed documents, signed statements. If there are individuals who witnessed the sexual harassing incidents, then make sure you get signed statements from them as well. Now, they may not want to be cooperative, and that's fine, but you should always ask and try to figure out whether or not these people will help you, because if they choose to, they may be your witnesses down the line. Or if they choose not to, then you know who you cannot trust, and also you know who you need to subpoena back eventually. So yes, be sure to get signed statements from everyone and from yourself, obviously, but yes, that's something that you have to take into consideration. Number 4, do some introspection and try to figure out exactly what it is you want. Try to figure out what your career goals are. Is this an organization where you want to work for the rest of your life, or is this just a temporary job? Is this a place that you can see longevity and growth and visibility, or is this just a transitionary position? These questions are important because the moment you pursue a sexual harassment claim, you have to understand, even though employers are strictly prohibited from retaliating against you, they do. Retaliation can be in the form of you losing your job or you getting demoted, and while that's definitely actionable in court, still might suffer consequences. It's unfortunate, it's sad, but it's basically, it is what it is. So I'm not telling that to you to deter you, absolutely no, God no. I'm just letting you know that this is a major concern. So think to yourself and try to figure out what your short-term and what your long-term goals are. The fifth and possibly the most important thing to do if you feel like you've been sexually harassed at work, contact an attorney. Know that you could pursue a sexual harassment claim while you are employed. You don't have to wait until you're no longer there. No, if you feel like you've been subject to sexual harassment, then retain the services of an attorney and try to figure out what redress you have. Whatever remedies you might have at law may be largely dependent on whether or not you follow the internal grievance procedures or you follow the internal complaint procedures. Also, different states provide different remedies with regard to sexual harassment claims. So pay attention to the facts, speak to your attorney, and follow up. So yeah, so those are my 5 tips as to how you can deal with a sexual harassment claim. If anything I said in this video didn't stick, these 3 things should. If you see something, say something. If you feel something, say something. If you hear something, say something. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, it's a very important issue. It's a very serious issue, hence my somewhat somber tone. But nonetheless, I'm excited to be here with you guys and to provide informational and relatable content. Please subscribe and like the video. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Today we're going to be talking. Today, we're dealing with this. The 3rd tip for dealing.